Okay, so we are in the 2021 MX-5 Miata, RF. So we are also in the Grand Touring trim level, which is the top trim level that you can get. And to be honest with you, in 2021, not much has changed from the previous year.
Why don't you hit me with all the things that have changed right now? Let's just get it out the way.
Yeah, so the only things that have changed is this white Napa leather, which
I do like.
Yeah, it's gorgeous. And Apple CarPlay, Android Auto are now standard features. The last one is that you can get wireless Apple CarPlay.
Wireless CarPlay?
Yeah.
So there's 3 new things for 2021, and 2 of them are kind of the same.
Yeah, and so Matt has done a full comprehensive review on the 2020.
Yeah, I did this review last year in this RF, the power retractable hardtop, or I guess you could call it the Target top, and it's the same car basically. Literally
the same car, except it has brown interior. So if you guys want to go get I guess just a more full comprehensive review, go watch that one. I want to kind of talk about my experience and my perception of this Miata and kind of how it's changed in this week that we've had it.
Okay, so yeah, like Paulo said, I've had an experience with this, basically the same car, comprehensively for a week last year, and I came to really like it, especially for what it was. It's low power, it's good balance, but from you, who hasn't had a chance to experience this ND2 Miata, like what were your thoughts initially and how have they changed?
Yeah, I mean, like, obviously I knew it was going to be small. I knew that it was, like, relatively an inexpensive car. I knew it was a good roadster to get into if you wanted to kind of do some track daying and things like that. I knew it was really light. I knew that it was balanced, but I think the biggest thing that stuck out to me was I knew it didn't have a lot of horsepower.
Yeah.
And I thought that it would be slow, and because of that, I thought that it wasn't going to be fun.
Yeah, I remember having that conversation with you explicitly, being like, because I mean, I have an understanding of what the Miata is. I've spent time with the Miata. I know that it's low power. It's a momentum car. It's like, it's not a straight line car.
Right.
It's very much a curvy backroad car. Like you experience the limits of the car in the corner, not on throttle or braking.
Right. Yeah, like that thought though, that it wasn't going to be fun because it was going to be relatively slow.
Yeah.
What was so far from the truth, and I guess we can kind of like dive into why that is.
Yeah, I mean it's not necessarily fast either. You know, it is a naturally aspirated power.
Let's talk about that. So it's 181 horsepower.
Yeah. So that's. Sorry, go ahead.
151 pound-feet of torque.
Yeah.
0 to 60 in 5.8 seconds.
Yeah. I mean,
and to get to 100, it's 16 seconds. So yeah, it's not fast. It's decently quick, but it's not trying to be fast.
Right.
That's not the point of the car, and that's what I learned, I'd say, this week.
Yeah, I think that's the whole thing. Is like if you're looking to do drag racing or anything like that, this is not your car. But I also don't think that anybody buying this car has the illusion of they're going to a drag strip and they're going to mess with, I don't know, scat packs or whatever. The people that are buying this car just want something that's kind of fun that they can tool around with on their own, or maybe do like a low cruise. You know, like within the car community, it seems that people that are buying something like this are also looking at like the Subaru BRZ or the GT86, or I guess now GR86. So those, again, low horsepower, 4 cylinders, NA motors.
Yeah.
That's kind of what you're expecting from a car like this.
I think, you know, in a straight line, I mean, we're beating it to death, but it's not that riveting. But I've never had so much fun in a corner on a windy road. It's just like through roundabouts than I've ever had in this car. It is just honestly such a blast. It's hard to describe it. I think that you really do need to get behind the wheel of one of these things to just understand what people say, that it's like one of the most perfectly balanced cars out there. Like, you really need to experience it because it's something special. I think the last thing I want to talk about the power and the balance is just that, like, it's honestly just a perfect combination of power and balance, that it just gives you this confidence entering a corner to drive Spirited. And it's just been such a great experience this week. It's something that I really haven't felt in any other car, and I think another reason because of that is just because it's manual.
Yeah.
And, you know, I haven't driven a manual car in quite some time either. And then it got me thinking that, boy, how good would the Supra be if they had that in a manual? I mean, it basically kind of just be like the X4, right? Or the Z4, sorry.
Yeah.
But wow, that thing would be good.
Yeah, I think that's a good point to make too, because like so many people will say, for those like young car enthusiasts or people that are starting to get into the car enthusiast arena, your first manual car should be something like a GT86 or a Miata. And it always seems to come down to Miata. No one in the car community really makes fun of Miatas except for being slow. Like, they're well respected, they're good drivers' cars, and they're a great car to like learn manual in and also learn how to improve your driving in.
Yeah.
Because it can be forgiving, but you can also push it and find your limits as a driver. And then you can do that at the limit of this car.
So the Grand Touring that we're in right now starts at $34,000. There's really no powertrain difference between the Grand Touring or the Club that's a trim below it. So it basically just comes down to like the luxuries, like what do you want? Like, and it's basically just like the nice to haves. This one has the wireless Apple CarPlay. It has like the auto dimming mirrors. It's basically just things like that. Like, that's really the only difference between this and the Club. With the top on, it does feel a little claustrophobic in here.
Yeah. If I sit up real straight, I'll hit.
Yeah, I'm 6'2", and I have a long torso, so this car kind of. So this kind of plays at a disadvantage for me.
Are we just gonna jump back into the script? Yes. I love it, keep going.
Hey, I'm at a disadvantage here and when I'm buying t-shirts because they always just hang right above my belt line, and
everything's a crop top.
That's frustrating.
Yeah, that's
everything's
bod.
a crop top. Seriously. So, but with the top down, obviously then it felt a bit more. It felt more spacious in here. I do like.
I was going to say, is your visibility impeded by this?
My visibility is a little bit impeded with just the top of the front windshield and some of the things up here. But
yeah,
I mean, it's a small car. Like, what do I expect? I'm actually surprised how well I do fit in it for being 6'2". We can talk about the interior real quick. I mean, there's no glove box.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's there's no door card either. There's just your handle that you open the door with. The only storage that you have is like a little thing right here, which I don't think is even wide enough for my phone.
No, it is wide enough for your phone.
This is the only other place.
Well, no,
and it's not super deep.
You have a center console one, but this is just comical.
That's for like cigarette butts.
Yeah,
that's like the only thing that could fit in there.
It's literally for like.
And apparently coins.
If you had a little Lego character, like, this is where you would put it.
It's where you put Ewoks or something.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. But you know what? Like, that's just one of the things about it. And I guess it's like a disadvantage. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of space, but it's also a really small car. Like,
you're buying a small roadster. Like, what did you think?
Exactly. It's difficult. I think it'd be difficult to have this car as your one daily driver. Weekend warrior and a track car, if you're, an enthusiast, this thing's great. Anything else? The trunk is actually surprisingly spacious. It's
deeper
pretty deep.
than you think.
Yeah, it's pretty deep.
That's the thing.
It's not that wide.
The opening is really small.
This is how big I thought it was. I thought I could fit in there. Exterior.
Stunning car.
Yeah,
gorgeous car.
It looks great.
Especially in this red, the Soul Red.
Okay, so final thoughts. Matt doesn't get to drive. Executive decision being made. I think I will own a Miata. Not specifically this year. It was a great week. This thing is really fun. I think that there's a reason it's the #1 selling roadster in the world.
It's the benchmark.
Yeah.
Well, it's the most affordable. It's super well balanced. It's fun. It looks good. The interior, especially for this ND generation, is pretty dang good. Thank you guys so much for watching, and we'll see you next time.